Welcome back to your ASL Roadmap Workshop series. This is part 2 of the 4-part series. I'm super excited. Today is Fingerspelling Faux Pas Fix. And as the name suggests, we're going to talk about the number one fingerspelling mistake struggling signers make, new signers make, or signers that have been signing for a long time but aren't seeing any freaking progress with their fingerspelling make. Okay, so we're going to talk about what that mistake is and how you can fix it, because it is fixable. Okay? So let's talk about the symptoms of this mistake first, and you can kind of evaluate and see if you might be making this mistake. So it's time for somebody to fingerspell to you, and you can feel the stress rising through your body. You're just getting hot and sweaty and anxious and terrified and like, oh my gosh, they're gonna be fingerspelling to me, whether it's a practice or whether it's a conversation. It's like the word fingerspelling and you like break out into hives or you just start sweating. Does anybody else anxiety sweat like I do? I'm just like, just a hot mess, right, when I get anxiety. So if that's how you react to, let's talk about fingerspelling. If you're like, I don't even know if I want to attend this workshop because I'm already reacting, then you're probably making this mistake. Another a symptom of making this mistake is if somebody's fingerspelling to you and you get the word and you're like, hallelujah, I figured out what they fingerspelled to me. But then the next time they fingerspell a word to you, you're like, oh no, I don't know what they said. And then they fingerspell again. And you're like, don't know. And then maybe you do after like the 6th word that they fingerspelled. Maybe you finally get it. But it feels like it's a roll of the dice. It feels like you never know when you're going to understand it and when you're not. But it feels like more often than not, you don't understand it. So you're probably making that mistake. Another time you could be making another symptom of making this mistake is if they fingerspell to you and you don't know what they're saying, so you say, okay, please sign it again, please go slower, please fingerspell slower, and they do it, and you still don't, and you're like, again, nope, again, I need it again, slower, and it doesn't matter how slow they go, you're not getting it. And it's really discouraging. And you feel so frustrated and like a failure. Like, I'm not gonna get this. Like, fingerspelling is my kryptonite. It's not ever gonna get better. I'll never understand it. And it's this terrible, horrible experience. So you might be making that mistake if this is happening to you. Let's talk about what this mistake is. It's naming the letters when you fingerspell. Now, naming the letters is saying A when they sign the letter A. And this is a huge no-no. So you might be going, well, I've already heard this from you before, so I know I'm not doing this. If any of those symptoms rang a bell or felt like, oh my gosh, she's talking about me, in any variety, it doesn't have to be as extreme, but in any of the spectrum of those symptoms, then you are naming the letters, you just don't realize it. Or you could be doing another form of naming, which we'll talk about in a minute. Okay? When you take the ASL sign, this is a sign. And it means it's a symbol that represents the English letter A, okay? This is why naming letters is so bad. So you're taking the ASL symbol for this letter and you're translating it over into the English symbol for that letter. And then you're taking it over into the meaning of those symbols. What does that symbol mean? And then you have to do that for each letter that is in the word that person is fingerspelling. Okay, and you have to take all those letters, all those symbols and meanings, and put them together, and hope you didn't miss a letter. Hope you didn't get the order wrong. Hope you didn't misunderstand a letter, going, I said, I saw S when she really fingerspelled T. So you have to hope you get the letters right. You have to hope you didn't miss any. And you have to hope that you put them in the right order. And then you have to take all of that, put it together, and go, oh, this is what they're saying. Okay? And it's going to take you that long to do it. Meanwhile, Becky, who's been signing to you this whole time, by the time your brain, if the roll of the dice was lucky, if you caught what she fingerspelled, she's already moved on. Becky's signing something else. And she might be frustrated with you going, you missed everything I said. Or she realizes that you don't understand it, so she's fingerspelling it again and again and again. And that's ratcheting up your anxiety and lowering your ability to understand, because who can understand when all you can feel is panic, right? And stress and worry and fear that you're not going to get it. Then you're almost guaranteed to not get it, right? So when you're going through that process, you are adding an extra step. You got all these jumble of letters and you've got to filter it through your Rolodex of all the words that you know. Now, we need to remove that step of you've got your ASL symbol to your English symbol to the meaning. We're removing the step, just like we did in the other workshop, Sticky Signing. We're removing the English step and we're going straight from ASL symbol to the meaning of the symbol. How do we do that? Go from the ASL symbol to the meaning of that symbol. Okay, now if we don't do this, if we keep doing it the old way, the naming the letters or sounding out the letters, we go from ASL symbol to English symbol to meaning, and then we smush it all together to make something, we're going to be continuously frustrated. We're not going to make progress because every time somebody fingerspells to you, you have to go through that process again and again, again and again, again and again. So each time it happens, you may understand it, you may not. And that's if the circumstances are ideal. Somebody is fingerspelling to you correctly. You didn't miss any of the letters. And most people miss the first letter. Okay, so that's as if you didn't miss any of the letters. And it's if their hands aren't funky. Maybe they fingerspell weird, or maybe their fingers are, really clunky and hard to understand, which is common, okay? So, and if they're not going too fast, if they're just at the right rate, right speed, and the sun is shining on the west, and there's a light breeze, and there's a flower scenting in the air, and not the bird flying, because if the bird flies, it's over. So this is all possible in the right circumstances. Now, so how do we stop this cycle of having to name the letters to get there? How do we remove the English step out of this ASL rainbow? How do we move that middle jump out of there? Get it out of there. We build templates. You can see this when you go into any home with deaf parents. You go into the home and there's a little tiny kid, just little bitty, right? Not anywhere near reading age. 2 years old, 3 years old. And the parent is fingerspelling to the child. And the child knows what they're saying. They're not able to read a book. They're not able to read sight words or anything like that. They don't know what English letters look like yet. They barely know their colors, or they barely know they're alive, right? But they understand that when mom fingerspells this, she means blanket, or peas, or chicken, or whatever it is that she's fingerspelled to her. She knows exactly what it means because she's built templates. Templates is the sign, the one word altogether becomes its own sign. So really, you're learning a sign. You're not learning letters that make a word. You're learning a sign. Okay? So this is the way you need to see the concept of building templates. You're building a template for words. We can see this in the English language. So if you've ever seen those old school, like they used to have that going around in internet back in like the 90s, early 2000s, when everybody was like emailing everything before Facebook, you know. And it was this document, and it was talking about how amazing the brain is, and you're reading it, and it's talking about, oh, you know, if you take out the middle letters and jumble them up, but you keep the first and the last letters the same, you still understand what's being said. And so you go through it, and then you realize by the end, or probably before, but you realize by the end that you've been reading jumbled letters and understanding it. And that's because our brain builds templates. Now, there's other science behind it, and but I don't want you to get stuck in that, okay? We don't start worrying about, well, what about this circumstance, or what about this one? What I'm saying is our brain builds templates. And now you can see evidence of this when you're reading, and you're reading a book, blah, 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 blah. You're just going through the pages, and you come up, you read, and you read the sentence, and all of a sudden your brain goes, oh, I don't know what that word was. So you go back to the beginning of that word that you just tried to read but you didn't understand. You go back to that beginning of the word and you look at it and you go, oh, Timbuktu. So you're looking at it and you're deciphering the elements of that word, and maybe you're putting groups together, or you're looking at a root of the word, like, I have seen that in other words. I know it sounds like this, or it means this. And so you're decoding that word. And so you're like, Timbuktu. And then you go, Timbuktu. Okay. And then you keep reading. And say you flip to the next page. Oh, there it is, a word again. This time you don't have to go through that whole process again. It's a little bit faster. You go, Timbuktu. That's right, Timbuktu. Keep going. And the next time you see it, it's Timbuktu. And the next, you don't even think about it. You just go right back to on skimming, and you don't have to like pause or hesitate or decode it again, okay? It's because your brain is building templates. Now there's 4 steps to building the template. And we can use our Timbuktu example, okay, to illustrate what that means. So the first step in the 4-step process is to see it at regular speed. So when we read Timbuktu, our brain, the first time, before we realized that we didn't understand it, we saw it at normal speed. We're like, oh. Then we didn't understand it. So we went back, and step 2 is to see it in slow motion. So for Timbuktu, we would go, that's when we broke it down to see each of those elements. Timbuktu. Then we see it in English. Okay? So then we go, oh, Timbuktu. Then the 4th step is to seeing it back at the normal rate one more time. And this just connects it all. Okay? The first time you see it in its natural habitat. You see it in its normal speed. And then the second step is you're breaking it down into chunks, into parts. You're seeing the elements of it. Then the third part is you're making it concrete. You're attaching it to a meaning. You're giving it a meaning. Okay? So you're taking this, so you just saw this fingerspelled word. Then you saw it slow, so you could see each part of the fingerspelled word. And then you're attaching it to a meaning. All of this that we just saw in these first 2 steps, all of this means this. Okay? Then in step 4, we see it again fast. Now that solidifies it and builds a connection. So we see it in its natural habitat. We identify the different parts. We make it concrete with a meaning, right? And then we connect all of these parts together like a Lego building block, and we've built a template. And now we see the word again, so we go, that's what that is. okay? So that's the 4-step process for building templates. Now let me show you an example with a word. First, I'm going to finger spell it at a normal rate, a slow rate. Then on your screen, you're going to see it in the English word, and then you're going to see it at the normal rate again. Okay, so that is what that whole process looks like. So when we build templates, you are going to begin to understand fingerspelling very quickly. When somebody's fingerspelling to you, you are going to understand what they're saying. You're going to understand what they're fingerspelling even if they misspell the word, or even if they don't form the letters correctly, or even if you miss a couple of the letters, if you don't see a couple of the letters. Now, as you see more native fingerspellers, you'll see that some of the letters don't always get signed, or they don't get signed in their full formation. They're like in the middle of a transition. So it looks like it's being skipped, but it's being fingerspelled differently. So this process will help you even in those circumstances. Your anxiety and stress level are going to lower significantly. And when you go to fingerspell to somebody or to be fingerspelled to, you're gonna be calm, it's gonna feel comfortable, and you're gonna feel confident. Building templates is gonna motivate you to continue to sign, to continue to learn, and to get out and sign with other people, because you're not gonna have this whole huge weight on your shoulders or this fear just strangling you, and you think, I can't go sign with somebody, I'm not gonna understand a dang word they do. Because one, you're gonna have implemented our sticky signing strategy, and two, you're going to have implemented our Fingerspelling Faux Pas Fix, which is building templates. So going out and conversing with people is gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting, and you're gonna learn so much more, and you're going to make connections, build stronger connections with the friends and family you already have that sign, and you're gonna make new connections with new friends and new potential family members with sign language. Now, I know that this building templates is really speaking to receptive signing. As you build templates, it also impacts your expressive fingerspelling, okay? Because you're going to know exactly what the word is supposed to look like when it's fingerspelled. You're going to be able to see it and understand it, and you're going to know exactly how your hand should look when you fingerspell. It doesn't mean you're going to be super crazy fast the day after you start building templates. It does mean that it's going to become easier and more natural, and it's not going to be this chore of learning to fingerspell. It's going to be a part of the process of building templates. Now, once you've built a template, is it just like, okay, I built a template and I've got it down? No, it's just like with our vocabulary. You need that spaced repetition to repeat building the template practice process, and then after a few times, 5 times in a row of practicing building that template, you'll have got it. Now, how do you build templates on your own? Well, I've got a few ways you can do it. The first way is a little bit clunky, and that is going to my old fingerspelling videos and downloading the practice worksheets that are associated with that fingerspelling practice video, because you need the list first, then watch it at the normal rate of speed, then hit the back button to skip back about 5 seconds, go to the gear wheel and go to the slowest setting that they will let you go on YouTube and watch it in slow motion. Then pull up your paper and look at the word that's on the list, because it's written in English. Look at the word and go, oh, she said rose. Then go back to the video, skip back 5 seconds, put it back at the normal rate of speed, and watch it again. And then you've built a template right there. Now, that's a little bit clunky. The second way is to watch my newest Fingerspell Friday video. So starting from Fingerspell Friday practice number 9 and on, use the new building template method. So you can use that, so you don't have to do my old ones, but if you want to use my old ones, you can. Just go through that longer process, like the DIY process. And the second way is to watch my newer things. And have the template method in the course ASL Accelerated. And then the third way is to make them yourself. Now you can make them yourself by yourself, and you can make them yourself with a friend that's also signing. So you would do this the same way. So you can do this in person, face to face, if you're doing this with a friend. You can do it on an app like FaceTime or Skype, where it's a live video call. You can also do it pre-recorded, like it's a video call, like through an app like Glide or Marco Polo. You can do it this way. You can make a video and email it to each other. And if you're doing this by yourself, you can just record a video on your phone. So how would you do this? Whether or not you're doing this with somebody or by yourself, you're gonna write out a list of words. I recommend doing about 5 to 10 words in one session. So write out your words. Ideally, you want it on pieces of paper, index cards, post-it notes, whatever scratch paper, but you want it on one word on one piece of paper. You don't want a whole list of them all on one sheet. You don't want to see all the words at once. You just want to be able to see one word at a time, okay? You'll understand in just a second. What you're going to do is say, okay, Betty, I'm going to fingerspell, and then I'm going to fingerspell my list of words, and then you're going to fingerspell your list of words. Or you can go back and forth, whatever. It doesn't matter the order. But one person goes at a time, of course. So you write down your words, and then you go, okay, fingerspell your word at a faster rate. Fingerspell it slowly. Then hold up your piece of paper that has the matching word on it. And you're only holding it up for like one, you go 1, 2 in your mind. 1, 2, drop it. Fingerspell it again at your fast rate again. So fast, slow, paper, fast. And you don't want this paper up there for a long time. You just want it to be like just real quick flash. Boom. Okay? Then you move straight on to your next word. So you set it down, you look at your paper again, maybe take a break of 2 seconds, 5 seconds or whatever, and go. Fingerspell fast, slow, word, fast again. Okay? And then when it's their turn, they do that. So if you're recording, so it's really nice if you do this on an app like Marco Polo or Glide, or you make a video and record it, because then you can use that video to practice with. So you don't have to go, okay, let's meet again every day for the next few weeks, because you need that spaced repetition. You need that consistent review. So you're going to want to record it. So maybe even if you're doing it, you say, okay, hold up the camera down here while I do it. You know, you watch me, but hold up the camera while I do it, and I'll hold the camera while you do it, and then you can both have a video to practice and review with. Building templates is fun, it's easy, it's simple, but most importantly, it's insanely effective. You are going to see massive progress. You are not going to be stuck if you build templates and you review them with your spaced repetition process. You are going to be a good fingerspeller. Okay, now what are your next steps? Number 1, make sure you've downloaded the workbook that goes along with today's workshop. It's going to have the steps, the 4 steps in the template building process, and then a reminder of how to make your own. You're going to make your own templates using 5, I want you to pick 5 words to build templates with. So you can do this with a friend or you can do it by yourself. It doesn't matter, but I want you to do it. 5 words. Goal is to have this done before the next workshop. And if you don't, that's okay. Make it a goal to have it done before this whole workshop series is over. And as a bonus, I've given you a practice video so you can use it right away to start building templates for the fingerspelled words that are in that video. Thank you so much for coming. It's all you have to do. Now remember, our next workshop, part 3 in our 4-part series, is Grammar Gone Wild. Woohoo! This is going to be a game changer. I know you're struggling with grammar, it's not clicking, you're stressing out, it's just something is just not working for you. I understand, I get it. We are going to address this and talk about what it is that you need to do to make grammar easy and natural and calm and enjoyable. So it's not this, oh, back in school, textbooky, punctuation class kind of a thing, that it is a natural experience that's enjoyable and feels good and feels easy. So that's what we're going to be doing in the next workshop. So if you struggled with grammar at all, or if you haven't even started working on ASL grammar, this is perfect. Head on over, make sure you show up to our next workshop, Grammar Gone Wild. It's going to be fun, as the title suggests. It's going to be a great time. Make sure you build your fingerspell templates and show up in the next workshop. I can't wait to see you, and I can't wait to help you out with grammar. It's going to be amazing. All right, thank you so much for coming and spending your time with me. I really hope that you use and implement the things that we talked about so that you can be a good fingerspeller and you can realize how amazing you truly are. I believe in you. I believe in your ability. You're doing amazing things. Let's keep going. I'll see you in our next workshop. Bye, cutie.